Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert City Council is discussing a possible public safety reserve to support police work through community fundraising. The proposed reserve would be used to support policing efforts. City councillors say local businesses have expressed interest in the idea. In a letter, the Prince Albert Board of Police Commissioners says while the police service and the board cannot participate in the creation or promotion of a privately funded reserve, it may be able to access reserve funds through a transparent application process.
It came up during budget time, and then of course that went back to the police commission and they forwarded off a letter to us, and now we've asked administration to come up with some options that could be possible.
The matter is to be examined by the city's Financial Services Department. While many people are getting out to enjoy the unusually warm weather, farmers are nervously waiting to see what this means for spring seeding. Farmers at the Western Canadian Crop Production Show are worried a midwinter melt followed by typically cold conditions could limit how much moisture their farmlands absorb in April. With an ice cap forming over the field, the spring melt could run off into ditches and sloughs instead of crops that have been under drought conditions for a number of years. While others are optimistic, the wet snow will make for favorable seeding conditions.
It depends how quick the weather warms up. A fast melt will make the water run, or a slow melt it will still soak into the ground where it needs to be for our drier climates.
I think it'll make easier in the spring. The moisture might stay where it is. It seals off. It shouldn't blow anymore.
Experts warn with a trend of warm winters in recent years and spring arriving earlier, farmers will have to prepare for less reliable water supplies. Saskatoon-born Emily Clark is eagerly preparing for her return to the international stage. Clark will be on the Team Canada hockey roster for her third Olympics this February, taking home a silver medal in 2018, followed by gold in her most recent Olympic appearance. Clark is hoping to bring another medal home when the Olympics get started next month.
I'm so proud to be from Saskatoon, and I feel the love. I see the messages. You know, I'm bad at replying to my own family, so please don't take it personal if you send me a message and I don't get back to you. But no, just that it's felt and it's appreciated and never taken for granted.
Team Canada will head to Italy soon, with opening ceremonies taking place February 6th. A Saskatchewan-based drone company is helping teams in Sweden find missing people by locating phones from kilometers away. Dragonfly has evolved from a hobby airplane business to jumping into the drone space. Its newest partnership with Search and Rescue Sweden uses drones made right here in Saskatchewan. The drones have phone detection system designed for wilderness rescue and police support. The drones were recently tested in our harsh weather conditions, confirming their effectiveness and ability to reduce or replace costly helicopter searches.
Operating in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan does give us a very good benefit of having a lot of wide open space to go do flight testing and development, whereas some more dense urban locations, Vancouver, Toronto, we don't have as much opportunity to access a clear open flying location.
Here in Saskatoon, drones are being used by police and missing person searches, as well as firefighting support and collision investigations. Well, Stacey, not a bad day out there, but I don't know what it is. I can sort of feel that something's on the horizon, and I think you're going to tell us something probably is.
John, I think your spidey senses are correct. We will start to see temperatures dip below freezing back on Friday, but in the meantime, we will expect some more plus temperatures. Yesterday, also quite warm. We did see some record-breaking temperatures across the province. Hudson Bay was the warmest record-breaking, reaching 5 degrees, beating the old record of 3.9 that was set in 1987. Waskesiu Lake in Buffalo Narrow also set new highs, climbing to 3.5 and 3.4 degrees. Meanwhile, the Ronge and Assiniboia slipped just past their old records. And again, we can expect one more day of this January thaw, temperatures on the plus side. But John, it's going to be quite windy. Now I'll talk more about that later in the show.
All right, thanks, Stacey. A major announcement at the First Nations University of Canada this morning. SaskPower has signed an agreement to build and operate an Indigenous-run 100-megawatt solar power facility near Lejourdre. It will be one of the province's largest solar facilities, generating enough electricity to power 30,000 Saskatchewan homes on average.
Southern Saskatchewan, Southern Alberta have the best solar resource in all of Canada. It's an excellent solar resource, some of the best in the region, and so SaskPower targeted South Central Saskatchewan where they wanted the procurement to take place, and so that's where we began our prospection in order to site the project.
The project was chosen through a procurement process led by the First Nations Power Authority over the past 2 years. Business advocates are voicing what they call serious concerns with SaskPower's proposed rate hike, saying many businesses cannot afford the additional financial strain. It comes after the Crown Corporation announced it's seeking a 3.9% increase effective in February of this year and an additional 3.9% in February of 2027. The increases still need approval from the rate review panel. In a letter to the panel, the Canadian Federation of Businesses says for small businesses and farms operating on tight margins, interim increases create immediate cost pressure and uncertainty, shifting financial risk onto taxpayers.
Rate hikes back to back are going to come as a huge blow to businesses who are already dealing with a bunch of other cost increases. You know, they've recently seen insurance premiums skyrocket. They're dealing with increased labor and occupancy costs, and not to mention massive price volatility as they're dealing with a lot of economic uncertainty.
CTV News has reached out to SaskPower and the rate review panel for a response. After the break, an upcoming concert later this month. Jasmine Pelche finds out about the North Sound ahead of their show January 23rd.
So you guys have a show coming up in PA on the 23rd, but I think I wanted to start off. I saw that you had a song break into the top 20 on the Indigenous Music Countdown. Yeah. Could you go into some background on that and kind of what the song's journey was to get there?
Yeah, so the song that we currently have on there is called Hard Way, Easy Living. And, yeah, you know, the Indigenous Music Countdown and Sirius XM Indigiverse have been very, very kind to us over the past couple of years of releasing music. And so, yeah, when we submitted the song to them, because there's a submission process to go in, they added it like fairly quickly, which was really great. And it's always nice to have people in media championing your music, even if it is just in a way of, you know, adding it to a countdown and surrounding that song with other incredible artists. Because I don't know if you've listened to the countdown or seen who's on it, but man, some of the best artists in so-called Canada are on that countdown. You know, like they are. Yeah, it's a really, in my opinion, in my view, it's a very prestigious countdown because of the quality of the artists that are on that countdown.
Could you just go into a little bit more detail on the process on writing that song?
Actually, the original idea of the song, I've been very honest about this. The original idea is stolen. I stole it from a friend of mine. It's okay. I've already paid him what he was due. I think I bought him a sandwich or something and thanked him for the idea. But we were sitting backstage at a festival a couple of years ago, and it was a summer festival. It was outside, and it was so hot. And as festivals go, sometimes, you know, everything gets pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. It's just, you know, the nature of it. And our friend Kyler, is a guitar player from Ontario. We were sitting there, and he just said, "Man, this sure is a hard way to make an easy living," you know? And because it really was. We were sitting backstage, and we had, you know, I don't want to like make it sound like it was like this life of luxury, but we had all our necessities met. You know, food was there and water was there, and we were with our friends. We were in a beautiful place in BC, and we were all just complaining.
Tired, smoky, hot.
Yeah, and so that sort of sparked the idea for the song. And, you know, I sort of just and the song was just really talking about some of the things that make this life of being an artist and a touring musician a job.
How would you describe your music in terms of genre?
We're getting put into the Americana box a lot lately, so I'd say we fit there. Roots as well, and sometimes alternative country and folk.
Genre really is for us like an external thing, because we're not really trying to make any music that sounds any specific or particular way. I mean, sometimes because as songwriters we want to scratch an itch, you know, but for the most part, genre has, in our experience, been an external thing. People have listened to it, called it what they thought it was, and we just go with it, because who am I to tell them they're wrong, you know?
How did you decide on your set list for the upcoming show in PA? Like, what's included on it?
Yeah, so we have the upcoming show in PA is a special one. It's going to be our 5-year anniversary of our album As the Stars Explode. And because we released that during kind of the lockdown times, we never got to tour that. But our home province really championed the record for us anyway. So for this show, we wanted to do something special, and we wanted to bring that whole album in on the first set, and then we're going to do our new album, What It Takes, on the second set. We'll have our whole band with us to support us for this act.
Yeah, and we're going to be recording it live.
Yeah. So
that set that we do at PA, the As the Stars Explode set, is going to be recorded live, and later on this year we're going to release a live album version of As the Stars Explode from that show.
So the concert will also be an album recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it sounds good, you know, that's the main thing. As long as it sounds good. Because if we blow it, we can't release it.
Thank you guys for making some time to speak with me about this.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Stacey's got your weather forecast coming after the break, and part 2 of a series on medical tourism and the risks that come with it. Well, Stacey, I don't know if you've seen the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but as the guy says, the weather outside is weather. And with more detail, I'll hand it off to you.
That, you know what, that might be a true statement. It's certainly weathering, you know, maybe for the worse, especially tomorrow. We will see some plus temperatures, but it's going to be quite windy. Taking a look at our radar and satellite now, some precipitation and freezing rain area north of Prince Albert, pretty quiet areas south of Prince Albert. Now, we really want to note that it is going to be quite windy tomorrow. You see those isobars, those white lines on the screen, they're very close together. We're going to see wind gusts in areas, some places seeing wind gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour. So it's going to be quite windy tomorrow. We can also see some areas, some flurries pretty much scattered throughout the province, primarily areas north of Prince Albert, but even south of Prince Albert region, we will see some flurries tomorrow. So keep that in mind. It's going to be not so pleasant. Tonight, 1 degrees in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, Rostern, North Battleford, Spiritwood, some flurries in Nipawin and Melfort. Tomorrow, some plus temperatures, but it is going to be a very windy. Candle Lake, Birch Hill, Rostern, they'll also see some flurries there and some wind gusts up to 70 kilometers for Candle Lake, Birch Hills, Rostern, and the Battlefords could see wind gusts up to 90 kilometers. And keep in mind, the road conditions we'll see some blowing snow tomorrow. It's going to be quite icy with this January thaw. So keep in mind if you're heading on the highways tomorrow, some dangerous conditions ahead tonight in Prince Albert, a low of 1, partly cloudy, and winds from the west coming at 20 kilometers, gusting up to 40 kilometers. And then it's really going to pick up tomorrow, gusting up to 70 kilometers and 30% chance of flurries, a high of 2. And again, some blowing snow. It's all because of a fast-moving cold front. And it's only going to get colder, a high of -14 on Friday, and then overnight -26. You'll definitely want to plug in your cars heading into the weekend. Saturday, touch warmer, and then Sunday, Monday, it's going to be quite cool, John.
Quite cold and sort of a good way to kind of close off your coverage of weather, eh?
You know what? Yeah, I think as soon as Jeff gets back, the weather gets unpleasant again.
As it always seems to happen. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, hometown hero Stacey Hine bringing the good news weather earlier this week. Thanks so much, Stacey. The Prince Albert Raiders got back to their winning ways on Tuesday night against the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Out front, Boychuk, and he scores! Riley Boychuk with an absolutely filthy goal!
Riley Boychuk's 9th of the season, assisted by the newest Raider, Braden Coots, was the eventual game winner. Prince Albert over the Wheat Kings 5-2. Wheaties goalie Jaden Krause made 39 saves to try and keep his team in it, while Mikhail Orshulak only needed to stop 15 of 17 shots in net for the Raiders. Prince Albert heads to Alberta this weekend. First Lethbridge Friday, then Medicine Hat Saturday.
When it comes to Saskatchewan football talent, few have reached the heights of one man from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. You're looking at footage of Ruben Mays, who went from small-town Sask to the bright lights of the NFL. After playing high school football in North Battleford, he would go on to be an All-American with Washington State University. Mays was actually selected by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL draft, but went south after being chosen 57th overall in the 1986 NFL draft. In his first NFL season with the New Orleans Saints, he would be named Offensive Rookie of the Year and was a Pro Bowl selection in both of his first 2 seasons. He would play a total of 7 seasons in the NFL, 5 with the Saints and 2 with the Seattle Seahawks, and racked up a total of just over 3,400 yards and 23 touchdowns. In 2022, he was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. And if that list of accomplishments isn't big enough, he's also the only Saskatchewan player featured in the iconic original Tecmo Super Bowl video game. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood-finished televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
As we first showed you in part 1 of our medical series on medical tourism, sepsis resulting from a mommy makeover in Costa Rica almost killed Nicole Grigorov. Now, as she learns to live without the use of fingers or toes, she and the medical community want to make sure others are fully informed. Pauline Chan has more.
Nicole Grigorov's medical tourism trip resulted in more than a tummy tuck and breast lift. Sepsis led to the amputation of her fingers and toes.
To be honest, Pauline, when I saw my fingers and my toes for the first time in Costa Rica, I knew, I wasn't going to be able to keep them. They were black.
Doctors Ron Samoji and Corey Goldberg say they're treating a growing number of overseas procedures gone wrong.
If not every week, it's every other week that I see a patient that's gone out of Canada for their cosmetic surgery and has come back with some kind of problem.
As the market for surgery abroad has increased, the number of complications that we're seeing regularly has increased as well.
And while they don't often see the kind of life-threatening complications that Nicole Grigorov suffered, many of the problems can be permanent.
They had given her what I would argue is a male hairline and a very low one at that. And she was in tears and asked, please, can you reverse this? Once that's done, you can't.
It's self-serving to say patients should come and have surgery with a Canadian plastic surgeon. But the reality is, to us, there's absolutely nothing more important than the patient's safety.
Dr. Samoji says overseas clinics may accept patients who otherwise might not be approved for surgery here due to weight or other health concerns. Other countries also have different products and standards for things such as implants or even sutures.
With cosmetic surgery, good cosmetic surgery, the pillar of care is really the follow-up. And that's what we sort of stress to patients is if they're going out of country, by the time they come back to Canada, they don't have their surgeon there anymore.
Follow-up care for cosmetic surgery can take months as the body heals and settles, but medical tourists won't be abroad for that time, so it falls on the Canadian health system to fix any problems that result.
So for my recent patient that was admitted to hospital for 5 days, CT scans, drainage procedures, a drain being placed, multiple days in hospital. These are thousands of dollars of OHIP funds, and it's a huge burden. Huge burden.
In the final part of our series, we'll look at some of the legal issues surrounding cosmetic surgery abroad and why so many Canadians are still choosing to go despite the warnings. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
All right, Stacey, now coming from Prince Albert, and I got to be careful what I say because there's a Paralympian coming from Prince Albert, but not exactly a ski or snowboarding hotbed, is it? A little bit here or there, depends who you ask.
I think Prince Albert can breed some of the best talent.
There you go. Okay, well, this ski and snowboarding course, of course, is not for the faint of heart. I guess we need those mountains, but 4 athletes have conquered this 350-meter-long course in Italy's Julian Alps. It's built on a ridge just a few meters wide. It also includes a 6-meter-long rail built between 2 boulders, bridging a 45-degree slope. There's also a, quote, no-fall zone along edges 110 meters high. The skiers say they're not scared of heights, but still said they never looked down. I don't know if I'd look anywhere except for an exit out of this area, but definitely some breathtaking views as they hold their life in their hands there.
You know what? I think Little Red Park compares to this run.
Maybe about that. I think I've seen a couple of their the rails and stuff like that. And I wonder now if someone was going down there with a snowboard. Sometimes you see the snowboarders and the skiers kind of not getting along. That might be a little bit more 90s for you, but...
It's a pretty intense hill, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree.